uh, capacitance and dielectrics. This is the new topic, capacitors, capacitance, and dielectrics. Dielectrics is the inside topics, but main topic is capacitors. So far, we have gone through the electric potential, electric field, and Coulomb's law, and all things will be used here in capacitors. Capacitor is electrical device just like battery or cell, and capacitance is its property that decides that how much charge it can store in it. So capacitor is a device which is used to store electric charge, just like you use a bucket or any container to store water in it. In the same way, capacitor is just like bucket which is used to store electric charge in it. This is the physical appearance of capacitors you can see in various electronic gadgets. When you open it up, like radio, transistor, and computers, TV, television, everywhere electronic gadget use capacitor. So these are the few sample of capacitors. So look at, this is the capacitors, this is the capacitors, and even this is capacitor, this is capacitor, and this is capacitor, as well as this is also a capacitor, and this is also. So these are the physical appearance that we can see in market, on the electronic shops, and anywhere. But if you look at the inner structure of capacitors, then you will realize this is the physical appearance. But what is the internal structure and what is the basic structure of capacitors that we have to see? In this chapter, we will study about first and foremost topics, capacitors, and thereafter we will learn about capacitance, and after that we will learn about combination of capacitors, just like resistors that you have studied in class 10th, that resistors can be combined in series and parallel and in mixed combination. So here capacitors can also be combined in series and parallel and mixed. Next, electric energy storage. And after that, dielectric, effect of capacitance after inserting the dielectrics, and then molecular description of dielectrics. These are the topics that we have to discuss. So first topic that we have to deal with right now, that is capacitor. So first of all, learn what is capacitor. So here it is given that capacitor is a device that stores charge and electrical energy in it. Just like as you store water or milk in a bucket, in the same way, electric charge is stored in a capacitor. So same purpose is fulfilled as you fulfilled by the bucket or container. Yes, same purpose is fulfilled here. Only difference is that in container, the content is water, oil, liquid, etc. But in this case, capacitor also act as a container, but its content is electric charge and electrical energy. Only difference is that. So you can say that capacitor is a device, an electric device, which is used to store electric energy or electrical charge in it. That's enough. Now, capacitor consists of, or capacitor is basically arrangement of two conductors separated by certain dielectric medium, and consist of equal and opposite charge over the two conductors. That's why creating a potential difference between the two conductors. Conductors may be of any shape and size. Even you can take two wires say wire A and B, and separate these two wires through a distance D, then this wire will act as a capacitor, provided first wire is made to be positive and second wire is made to be negative by connecting the terminal of the battery. Then battery will get discharged. That means charge supplied by the battery has gone where? Charge supplied by the battery get stored between the space of the two conductors, two conducting wire. And so a space between the two conducting wire connected with the two terminals of the battery act as a capacitor. So just learn capacitor is nothing but arrangement of at least two conductors in any shape separated by some dielectric medium. And a space between the separation of two conductors in any shape can be used to store electrical energy and electric charge. So this is the another aspect of capacitor. That in the above definition, capacitor, that was the literal definition of capacitor. It is a device that is used to store electrical energy or electric charge. And now we have to say that capacitor is, this is the construction of capacitor. Capacitor is arrangement of two conductors separated by some dielectric medium and consist of equal and opposite charge over the two conductors. Then a space between the two conductors itself can be used to store electrical energy and electric charge. And this arrangement of two conductors along with a space between the two simultaneously can be said a capacitor. So remember, most general capacitor that you will learn in your class right now is a parallel plate capacitor. So plate is conducting plate. We take two conducting plate of same shape and size. It is not necessary that size and shape may be same or may not be same. Still it will work as a capacitor. But here, for convenience, we take two conducting plates of same shape and size with same surface area A and separated by a distance D. Then this arrangement of two conducting plate can be said as a parallel plate capacitor. Now, if one of the terminal of this plate is connected, one of the plate is connected to the positive terminal of the battery and another plate is connected to the negative terminal of the same battery, then what do you think, that battery will discharge or not? What will be your answer? Battery will discharge or not? Because no bulb is connected in the circuit, no bulb is connected with the battery, no electronic gadget is connected with the battery, then will battery discharge or not? What will be the answer? Answer will be yes, it will discharge. Why? Then energy of battery will go where? Energy of battery will get stored in between the space of two plates. Okay, and after removing the battery, the energy stored in the capacitor can be used. If you now connect with an electrical bulb with this parallel plate capacitor, one of the terminal of the bulb is connected with one plate, another terminal of the bulb is connected to another plate, then you will see that bulb will glow without any battery. This proves that when you connected this arrangement of the plate with battery, energy drawn from the battery and get stored in between the plate. And now after removing the battery, when you connect with the bulb will glow because of this stored energy now supplied to the bulb and bulb glow. So you have got it well. This is the simple arrangement of capacitor. that is arrangement of two parallel conducting plates separated by certain finite distance. And as it is a system of two conducting plates or in our two conductors in any shape, so we can have two terminals. One wire is connected to one plate or one conductor. This can be as one terminal, and another connected to another plate is will be another terminal. So capacitor is a two terminal device, just like battery, just like resistors, just like ammeters, just like voltmeters. Capacitor is a two terminal device, correct? Now this is another example of capacitors. Difference is that here we take conducting sheets and separated by some dielectric medium. You see here the yellow material is dielectric material that separates two conducting sheets. This is also a capacitor. Dielectric means insulating materials. Just like say, if we have two copper plates, two sheets of copper, and you just put a mica sheet in between the two plates, in between the two sheets, and fold the sheets with mica sheets in a circular and rolled cylindrical form. This will arranged. This will be termed as a capacitor, because it is essential that two conducting plates or sheets or wire must be separated by some dielectric medium or some insulating medium. So this is also a capacitor. Only difference is that how many capacitors are there. Two plates or two sheets together will form one capacitor. So here one capacitor and other capacitors and other capacitors. This all were connected in series, you can say. Now come to the point. Next, first of all, we have to deal with the normal and simplest form of capacitor, that is parallel plate capacitor, that is also given in your textbook. You will see it. So parallel plate capacitor is a capacitor consisting of two plates, conducting plates of same surface area and thickness, and separated by certain dielectric medium through a certain distance d. And when connected with a battery, with negative terminal of the battery with one plate and positive terminal of the battery with another plate, then terminal connected with the plate with positive terminal, plate connected with the positive terminal will receive positive charge, and plate connected with negative terminal will receive negative charge. So here in between the plate, potential difference will appear. And say potential due to positive charge is V plus and potential due to negative charge is V minus. So potential difference between the two will be a V plus minus V minus. And this potential difference is just equal to V and is equal to 12 volt, whatever potential supplied by the battery. Okay. Because this capacitor is connected in parallel with the terminal of the battery, therefore whatever potential appears across the battery, same potential will appear there. And this is the symbolical representation of this connection. This is actual representation, actual diagram, and this is symbolical. This is capacitor. A capacitor can be represented symbolically by drawing two parallel lines. And this will represent a symbolically a capacitor. And this is symbolic representation of a battery or cell. So this is the same connection as it is here. Okay. So remember, the separation of two conductors, it is essential that one of the conductor must have positive charge and other must have negative charge over it. Single isolated conductor can also act as a capacitor, but then in that case, where will be negative charge there? So negative charge will be supposed to be at infinity. So right now we will study about the capacitor with two conducting materials separated by some dielectric medium. This is the best example. Now let us check out what is capacitance. Capacitor is a device, and capacitance is its capacity to store electrical energy or electric charge. Just like you take a bucket of 10 liters. So bucket is a container and 10 liter is its capacity. When you go to the market and ask the shopkeeper, give me a bucket, only you say this word, the shopkeeper will ask you, uh, with what capacity do you requires bucket, whether you requires a bucket of 10 liters, you requires a bucket of 2 liters. So you have to say bucket with capacity. What you want to store in that bucket. If you want to store 2 liter milk, then you need a bucket of 2 liters capacity. Similarly, here, as we have told you that capacitor act as a container, just like a container contains in it water, oil, milk, etc. Similarly, capacitor contains electrical energy or electrical charge in it. So as it stores some physical quantity in it, so it must be associated with capacity, how much physical quantity can be stored in this. So that capacity to store is called capacitance. In the previous case, in case of bucket, capacitance is 10 liter. That is a bucket of 10 liter capacitance or capacity means it can store 10 liter volume. So here, capacity to store, amount of charge or energy to be stored in a capacitor depends on their physical arrangement of the plates as well as dielectric medium present in it. Therefore, their capacity changes with physical arrangement of the plates, geometrical arrangement of the plates, as well as dielectric medium. So now we come to know that what is capacitance. So before going to that, look at, this is the plate, and at the time t equal to 0, as soon as you switch on, the charge supplied this battery will start coming to this plate. Because this plate was initially at 0 potential, so charge will start moving from high potential to low potential. But as charge go on accumulating on these plates, so potential of these plates go on increasing and increasing and increasing till the potential at these plates and potential at this terminal of the cell becomes equal. As soon as potential at these plates at this terminal becomes equal, then supply of charge gets stopped by the battery. Because at that time, potential at the 2 point is same. So how can charge flow from one point to another point? So in that case, we say that capacitor has this much capacity to store this charge. Beyond that, charge cannot be stored over it. Now, similarly, by the same amount, this plate will get negatively charged because of induction. So you see that as much charge is appearing here, due to induction, it will become negative and negative, so on. And a positive charge over this plate will move through this one and compensate it. Because you know that this is the conducting plate, so due to this positive charge here, this face of the conductor will have negative induced charge, and this conducting plate, this face of the plate will have positive charge. So this positive charge will move in this way, and positive charge again come to this way. So in this way compensated. So when potential at this plate and this positive terminal becomes equal, flow of charge gets stopped. Similarly, potential at this plate and this plates becomes negative and equal negative, then flow of charge stops. In that case, we say that this capacitor is fully charged. Now, if you remove this battery, after removing of battery, still there is energy or charge stored in this capacitor. So one thing that you have to remember, that as soon as you switch on the circuit, charge starts coming from positive terminal of the battery to this plate. And hence potential at this plate go on increasing. So you can say that potential amount of charge to be stored at this plate is directly proportional to potential difference. More is the potential difference, more will be charge stored over this. This word is important. And when potential difference across this plate becomes equal to potential difference across the terminal of the battery, then we say that capacitor is fully charged, and now no more supply of charge from battery can be possible. Now, so now come to the point. When capacitor is connected to a battery, the charge on its plate is proportional to the voltage or potential difference. That is, Q is proportional to V. Therefore, Q equal to CV, where C is proportionality constant and is called capacitance of capacitor. The quantity C is called capacitance. And unit of capacitance you can easily determine. C equal to Q by V. So unit of Q is coulomb and unit of potential V is volt. Then unit of C will be coulomb per volt. And this coulomb per volt is called Faraday. And unit of capacitance is Faraday. Coulomb per volt itself is Faraday. So 1 Faraday of capacitance of charge means that if a capacitor or arrangement of conductor arranged in such a way that it can store 1 coulomb of charge when potential difference across plate is 1 volt, then capacitance of a capacitor is said to be 1 Faraday. It is bigger unit of charge. So next thing is that now capacitance. Now we have to derive mathematical expression for capacitance of parallel plate capacitor. So let us check. At any instant of time t, this plate has charge Q over it, and this plate will have charge minus Q over it, and the two plate is separated by a small distance d, and plate area, surface area of the plate is A. Then we have to find out capacitance of this arrangement, parallel plate capacitor. So for a parallel plate capacitor, as shown in the figure, electric field between the two plate is given by this, but you don't know how. So try to understand that. Just we have discussed in the previous class that electric field between the two plate is sigma upon epsilon naught. Got it well or not? Sigma upon epsilon naught. If not, you can look back to that lecture and you will come to know. Sigma upon epsilon naught in between the plate. But outside the plate, 0 and 0. When equal and opposite charge density is there on the two plates. Then in between the plate, electric field will be sigma upon epsilon naught. And sigma is what? Surface charge density. So surface charge density equal to what? Charge per unit area. So Q upon A equal to sigma. So sigma upon epsilon naught equal to electric field. So now you have got it well. So if this plate consists of charge Q, then charge density is Q upon A, that is sigma. So this is the electric field between the two plates. Now we have to apply the formula for the relation between plate potential and electric field. So we know that electric field is just equal to negative gradient of electric potential. So we can say magnitude of potential between the two plates can be expressed as V upon D equal to E. This is V upon D is what? Potential gradient. You know well that negative of potential gradient is just equal to electric field. So V upon D equal to E. So putting the value of E equal to Q upon epsilon naught A. So V upon D equal to Q epsilon naught. Q upon epsilon naught A into D. So this is the potential difference between the 2 points A and B. This is point B and this is point A. So between the 2 points, potential difference is Q D upon epsilon. Now we have got potential difference and also we have got how much charge is stored equal to Q. So capacitance equal to what? C equal to Q by V. This is the formula for capacitance. So here, in this case, we have already known that charge over the plate is Q. And now we have got the potential difference between the plate is QD upon epsilon naught A. Now capacitance is equal to Q upon V. That is Q upon V. Putting all this value, you get that epsilon naught A by D. So capacitance is directly proportional to area of the plate and inversely proportional to separation between the two plates. Less is the separation, more will be capacitance. And more is the area, more will be capacitance. As well as if epsilon naught is changed by certain other medium, then also capacitance will change. This is for vacuum because right now there is no any other medium but vacuum. So this is the well-known expression for parallel plate capacitor, capacitance of parallel plate capacitors. Now, in order to calculate capacitance, let us check out the example. Calculate the capacitance of parallel plate capacitor whose plate's area is 20 cm into 3 cm and are separated by a distance of 1 mm air gap, that is vacuum. This is one question. Answer: to calculate, you have to make all the unit in the SI unit. So cm must be connected into meter and mm must be connected into meter. And then you can calculate. And after calculating, you can get the desired value of capacitance. Now, next one is, what is the charge on each of the plate of the capacitors if voltage, 12 voltage battery is connected over it? Now, so far you have know that C equal to Q by V, and C is already calculated in section A, part A, and V is given in the question 12 volt, then Q equal to C into V. So we can calculate charge. Okay. Now, part third, that is in section C, what is the electric field between the plate? So you know that electric field is just equal to sigma upon epsilon naught between the two plates. So here sigma equal to Q by A. Q is already determined from part B. So when answer of part B is divided by area given in the part A, gives you the surface charge density. And then electric field will be Q by epsilon naught A. Q upon epsilon naught A. And putting the value of Q and area and value of epsilon naught, we can get electric field. Now in part D, estimate the area of the plate needed to achieve a capacitance of 1 Faraday. In this case, C is given, that is capacitance is given, and charge is already given that we have calculated in the section B. And C is given, Q is given, and A is not known. So by applying the formula C equal to epsilon naught A by D. So here epsilon naught is known, D is known, C is known, A is not known. So your answer will be A equal to C into D divided by epsilon naught. And putting the value, you can find out an answer. This is the result. Okay, this is the formula for capacitance. This is the formula for charge stored. This is the formula for electric field. And this is the formula for area of plate. Okay. Now, there are various type of capacitors depending on the geometrical shape of the two conductors. So in previous case, we have taken parallel plate capacitors. In that case, the two conductors were taken in the same in the form of plates arranged parallel to one another. Now, if we take two coaxial cylinders separated by some insulating medium, then there will be electrical energy or charge stored in between the space of the two coaxial cylinders. And such arrangement is called a cylindrical capacitor. So cylindrical capacitor consists of a cylinder or a wire of radius RB, outer cylinder, and a radius of RA, inner cylinder. Both are arranged coaxially, and the space between the two cylinders is filled by the dielectric medium. So we can say that cylindrical shell of inner radius RA and outer radius RB. Both cylinders have length which we assume is much greater than that of the separation between the two cylinders. So we can neglect the end effect. Therefore, we neglect end effect because separation between the two cylinders is much more smaller in comparison to length of the cylinder. So the capacitor is charged by connecting it to a battery. अब अगर दोनों कैपेसिटर को बैटरी के एक एक टर्मिनल से कनेक्ट कर दे तो एक कैपेसिटर पर पॉजिटिव चार्ज स्टोर होगा, एक पर नेगेटिव चार्ज स्टोर होगा. जैसे ही नेगेटिव पॉजिटिव हुआ तो उन दोनों प्लेट, दोनों कैपेसिटर, दोनों सिलेंडर के बीच में एक पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस एग्जिस्ट करेगा और इस पोटेंशियल डिफरेंस पर डिपेंड करेगा हाउ मच चार्ज इज स्टोर्ड. So the capacitor is charged by connecting a battery so that one cylinder has got a charge of plus Q. Say this charge is accumulated over the inner cylinder and other got negative charge, outer cylinder. Now we have to determine electric field between the two plates. So we know that due to cylindrical distribution of charge, electric field is given as equal to 2K lambda upon R. Electric field I have already taught you in case of linear charge distribution. So the same case will be there. Now electric field is known. So now we have to write here E equal to minus dV upon dr or minus dV upon dl. You know well, this is a potential gradient. So that then you just take out the magnitude and then integrate. So here minus dV upon dr equal to this much. Therefore dV equal to 2K lambda upon R into dr. Then so this differential potential difference is obtained. Now we integrate this differential potential difference under limit RB to RA. RB to RA. Or RA to RB, because here it is already negative sign, so automatically you will get the same result RB to RA. Just you must start from RA to RB because here we have to start from here to here. So RB is outer cylinder and RA is inner cylinder. Now, after integrating, we get the result VA minus VB. This is the potential difference between the two cylinders. So we have got potential difference. So far we have got potential difference and charge accumulated over the cylinder is Q equal to lambda into L. So now capacitance is equal to total charge accumulated divided by potential difference between the two cylinders. So C equal to Q by V, and that is now this is the result. Okay. Now, and this ln is nothing but log, because integration of dr by r equal to log r. So after placing in place of r, upper limit is ra, lower limit is rb. So log ra minus log rb equal to log ra divided by log equal to log ra divided by rb. So this is the expression for capacitance of cylindrical capacitor. And next we have next arrangement of conductors can be spherical in shape. So if you take two concentric conducting shell, a spherical shell, separated by some insulating medium, let's say this is one of the shell, this is one shell, and this is outer shell, and both are concentric, and a space between the two cells is filled by dielectric medium. Then this arrangement is called a spherical capacitor. And if you connect one of the cell by positive terminal of the battery and other cell by negative terminal of the battery, then the cell which was connected with positive will get positive charge over it, and the cell which was connected with negative terminal will get negative charge over it. As positive and negative is separated by some dielectric medium, therefore there must be a potential difference between the two cells, and hence it will act as a capacitor, a spherical capacitor. So for example, we can take inner capacitor, inner sphere with radius RB and outer sphere with radius RA. In that case, we have to find out capacitance. So inner cell carries a uniformly distributed charge Q on its surface, and outer cell equal but opposite charge then determine capacitance of the two cell, or we can say a spherical capacitor. Here again, due to a spherically symmetrical, so electric field at any point from the center of the cell is given as kq by r square.